Imagine waking in the middle of the night, reaching for your phone, and seeing a message marked "Seen," but no reply ever comes. A strange heaviness settles in your chest. Your thoughts begin to race. You wonder what you did wrong. It feels like a modern inconvenience, but in reality, your brain is reacting to an alarm that is hundreds of thousands of years old. For our ancient ancestors, being ignored or left alone was never just uncomfortable. It could mean death. And according to one of Harvard's longest-running studies, that ancient survival system may still be shaping every moment of our lives today. Now imagine the Ice Age, around 100,000 years ago. You leave your hunting group for only a moment, stepping over a rocky ridge while tracking fresh footprints. When you look back, they are gone. No voices, no smoke rising above the trees, no familiar footsteps echo across the grassland, only silence. At first, you tell yourself they cannot be far away. You walk faster, then run, burning precious energy as panic begins to take control. Hours pass. Confidence fades. Every direction starts to look the same. Then the sun sinks below the horizon. This is the moment your odds of survival begin to collapse. During the day, humans could rely on sharp vision, cooperation, and tools. At night, the landscape belonged to predators with better hearing, stronger senses of smell, and eyes perfectly adapted to darkness. But the greatest threat is not only outside you, it is inside your own body. Stress hormones flood your bloodstream. Cortisol keeps your heart racing and your muscles tense. Sleep becomes impossible because every distant rustle could signal a stalking predator. Exhaustion clouds judgment, making every decision more dangerous than the last. And here is the disturbing truth. For an ancient human, loneliness was never an emotion. It was a biological countdown, measuring the remaining hours before nature claimed another life. So why was a single person so helpless? The answer may surprise you. An ancient hunter never survived because of individual strength alone. They survived because their tribe functioned as an external brain. Think about this for a moment. If you had been born 50,000 years ago, what skill would you bring to your tribe? Would you remember hidden water sources? Identify poisonous plants? Track wounded animals? Or keep the fire alive through freezing nights? Anthropologist Robin Dunbar discovered a remarkable relationship between the size of the human neocortex and the number of stable social relationships we can maintain. While the famous Dunbar number is about 150, most hunter-gatherer bands were much smaller, typically just 30 to 50 people. That wasn't a weakness. It was an evolutionary advantage. Each member carried knowledge that no single individual could possibly master. One elder remembered migration routes followed for generations. Another understood medicinal herbs. Skilled hunters read footprints invisible to everyone else. Experienced mothers recognized illnesses long before symptoms became obvious. Together, they formed a living network of intelligence. This idea becomes even more astonishing when we look at the Hadza people of Tanzania. Researchers found that during weeks of observation, there were only a handful of minutes when everyone in the camp slept at the same time. While some rested, others remained awake naturally, creating an invisible night watch without assigning guards. Lose the tribe, and you didn't just lose friends. You lost hundreds of years of shared memory, dozens of pairs of watchful eyes, and an entire survival system built into human society. Could any one person ever replace that alone? Knowledge alone was not enough to keep a tribe alive. Survival also depended on something even more valuable: trust. Imagine returning from a hunt after 2 exhausting days with nothing to show for your effort. No meat, no food for your family. Alone, that failure could become a death sentence. But inside a tribe, someone else had been lucky. They shared today's success because tomorrow they might be the ones who returned empty-handed. This wasn't generosity in the modern sense. It was one of humanity's earliest insurance systems. Researchers studying hunter-gatherer societies such as the Agta in the Philippines and the Bayaka in Central Africa discovered remarkably complex food-sharing networks. Resources flowed through families, friendships, reputation, and long-term reciprocity. A successful hunt rarely belonged to one person. It belonged to the community. Among the Maasai of East Africa, this principle evolved into something extraordinary called ozochua, meaning umbilical cord. Partners connected through ozochua were expected to help one another only during genuine hardship, without calculating debts or demanding repayment. Their relationship was measured not by profit, but by survival. Now ask yourself this. If everything you owned disappeared tomorrow, who would answer your call without asking for anything in return? Perhaps that question reveals something profound. For our ancestors, wealth was never counted by possessions. It was counted by the strength of the people willing to stand beside you when survival was uncertain. If survival depended on staying inside the group, then one question becomes unavoidable. Why does rejection hurt so much? Modern neuroscience has uncovered an extraordinary answer. The brain responds to social rejection using many of the very same neural circuits that process physical pain. When someone excludes you, ignores you, or turns their back on you, regions such as the anterior cingulate cortex become active almost as if your body had been injured. To your ancient brain, rejection was never simply embarrassing. It was a warning that your place in the tribe, and your chance of surviving the next winter, might be slipping away. That is why reputation became one of humanity's most valuable currencies. Around evening fires, people exchanged stories about who could be trusted, who shared fairly, and who cheated others. What we call gossip today was once an incredibly efficient survival technology. It spread vital social information without the need for violence, rewarding cooperation while exposing selfish behavior. So let me ask you another question. Would your name inspire trust if your entire survival depended on your reputation? Before we continue, if you're enjoying uncovering the hidden science behind human evolution, take a moment to subscribe to the channel. It helps us create more documentaries that bring archaeology, anthropology, and neuroscience together to reveal the remarkable story of our species. Because the final chapter reveals why, for our ancestors, being cast out of the tribe could be far worse than death itself. Imagine standing before your tribe as every face turns away. No one speaks your name. No one meets your eyes. No one offers food, shelter, or protection. In the modern world, social exclusion is painful. In prehistory, it was often a slow death sentence. Long before prisons existed, small human communities had few options for dealing with individuals who repeatedly threatened the group. Anthropological evidence suggests that exile, and in extreme cases, execution, served as powerful tools for protecting cooperation. A violent or relentlessly selfish individual could endanger everyone, from children to hunters returning with food. Anthropologist Christopher Boehm argues that early human societies actively suppressed chronic aggression, helping shape a species that became increasingly cooperative over thousands of generations. Some scientists even describe this process as human self-domestication. But exile may have been the cruelest punishment of all. Once separated from the tribe, there was no one to keep watch while you slept. No one to share food after a failed hunt. No one to care for an infected wound or guide you back to water. Nature would finish the sentence that the tribe had begun. Now think about this. Would you rather face a predator alone, or face an entire tribe that has decided you no longer belong? The answer reveals just how deeply our survival has always depended on one another. After all, the greatest weapon humanity ever evolved was never sharper teeth or stronger muscles. It was belonging. Today, our cities are larger than ever, yet millions of people still battle loneliness. The danger is no longer roaming predators, but an ancient survival alarm that continues to echo inside the modern human brain. Our ancestors never survived by becoming stronger alone. They survived because they found one another, trusted one another, and stayed together. If you enjoyed this journey into humanity's hidden past, subscribe and turn on notifications so you won't miss our next documentary exploring the science, archaeology, and evolution that shaped who we are today. Because understanding our past may be the key to understanding ourselves.